Director Adam McKay is known for Anchorman and the Other Guys, but the end credits of the latter show stats relating to the federal bailout, income inequality, and Bernie Madoff. I never saw a movie like The Big Short from him coming, but it's great that Adam McKay created a movie on a topic that he is so invested in. That interest in telling a story of how the economy downspiraled turned into an aggressive comedic cautionary tale of how the banks took advantage of unsuspecting people and how their negligence led to a collapse. These four groups of outsiders saw it coming and bet big on shorting the housing market when everyone else thought it was crazy and laughed it off. At the beginning of the movie, the editing and the directorial style of Adam McKay threw me off, and I didn't like it at first. A few parts, especially at the beginning, and the transition of the film's acts were filled with quick cuts and tangentially related images that looked like it would come out of a student film to make a statement. However, it sets the fast pace of a movie. Also, he breaks the fourth wall with his characters, and it was unsettling because its purpose was to give more insight into some of these characters' thoughts. I wasn't used to it. It could have been blended in or implied within the characters' motivations and actions, but this isn't that type of movie. These techniques take some getting used to. However, there are times in the movie where I got lost in the financial conversations about loans and CDOs, and as a result, I got bored. But I don't blame McKay for my lack of understanding and interest, since the purpose of this movie is to inform and entertain audiences about one of the major causes of the 2008 financial meltdown. Those were the slow parts where I got bored. But this is where McKay places the celebrity explanations to make sure that he didn't lose the audience. The Big Short is such an engrossing reminder. Since Washington Mutual was featured as one of the groups that were attending this convention in Las Vegas, I completely forgot that WAMU even existed. In fact, I had no idea they went under since it was so long ago for me. This movie deals with its ensemble cast by having the story focus on these four guys instead of one person. McKay does a good job in giving these stories equal time, or at least make it appear so. Michael Burry, played by Christian Bale, doesn't have a whole lot of screen time, but the time he has is well utilized. I don't think this movie would have been as good if it only focused on the Burry character. It's not to say that his performance isn't good, but it's better served as a part of the whole story instead of the whole itself. This also applies to the three other characters played by Pitt, Gosling, and Carell. Burry is an awkward introvert who is naturally gifted at looking at these numbers and knowing that he's right and everyone else is wrong. Christian Bale isn't in this movie. It's only Dr. Michael Burry. Brad Pitt has a bit mentor role in this movie as Ben Rickard, and it's obvious that he has disdain for the culture and system, even though he's not in it much. He grounds the movie in reality and gives it emotional weight. Along with Bale, his screen time is short but sweet. Gosling is arrogant yet likable as Jared Bennett, and he establishes the no BS mentality of the movie. He's the first person we see and talk. He's funny because he tends to ridicule others and act like the big know-it-all financial foreseer. He's a bit of a bully to those around him, but not to the extent of unlikability. Steve Carell as Mark Baum anchors the movie in guilt due to his personal demons relating to Wall Street and his reaction to shorting the housing market. It also results in a neurotic and funny character, and he's a great blend of drama and humor. If I had to pick a lead out of this ensemble, he would be the one. Finn Wittrock as Jamie Shipley and John Magaro as Charlie Geller are surprisingly welcome additions to this ensemble cast. They held up their own to Bale, Carell, Gosling, and Pitt, even though they were only in a few scenes with Pitt and none of the other three main characters. They were pretty much on their own for a lot of their screen time. If their names had more clout, they would have deserved to be part of top billing. Their characters' desire to be respected in their field, despite their youth, is apparent in their eyes and their overall performance. The music choice of metal, rap/hip-hop, and some pop fits the characters and the situations of the movie. For example, some 70s groove sound is played, since that's when the mortgage bond boom started. Score is used in the movie, but it's not as noticeable as the various soundtracks played throughout the film. The Big Short will leave you angry because the events depicted in the film affected everyone and created a mistrust of banks and large entities. This was Adam McKay's intention. He wanted to inform movie-going audiences about how Michael Lewis's book explains how this whole economic mess started. The Big Short has a great ensemble cast with good performances. The editing and directorial style might throw you off when you first experience it, but it's not a challenge to get through it, as long as you accept that this is a no BS zone.